Hi, everybody. I am Ashley. I am the Senior Corporate Communications Coordinator here at WB. And today we're going to talk about International Women in Engineering Day. It takes place annually on June 23rd, and it helps raise the profile of women engineers and encourages more females to study engineering as a profession. So today I'm joined with some lovely ladies of WB. So if you'd like to go around and introduce yourselves.
I am Kristen Pecci. I'm an electrical engineer and project manager from our New York office. Been with WB for almost 7 years now, and very excited to be part of the panel.
I'm Lauren. I'm from the East Bay office. I'm a project engineer, and I do mostly plumbing and mechanical engineering at WB.
I'm Maddie. I am one of the summer 2020 interns. I am currently an industrial engineering major at Northeastern University, and I'm in the Boston office. And I'm working in plumbing and fire protection.
Go Huskies. I'm Sarah. I'm an associate principal and electrical engineer at the New York office, and I've been with WB for coming up on 5 years now. And I'm also a Northeastern alum.
Woo!
All right, thank you, everybody. So my first question is, what would you say to encourage females to study STEM?
Do it. I think over the last couple of years, over the last couple of years, there's been a real big push to get more girls, especially in like the elementary school and high school ages, into STEM. I think before that there had been, a little bit of a stereotype that maybe math and science was not something that overgeneralization, not something girls were good at. That's totally false. There's no basis for that at all. And in fact, we can probably talk about how, there's certain skills that maybe women bring to the table that are actually really great in terms of STEM fields, whether it's organizational skills, whether it's team building, things like that. There's been a ton of studies recently that kind of speak to that, but definitely do it. Become a woman in STEM. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think there's just been a lot more highlight, like Kristen said, on, STEM and encouraging women to join STEM, and just the breadth of opportunities that are available have just kind of substantially increased even since I've been involved in the field. So it's a great time to get into it.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you both said. Obviously, I'm 21, so I was in high school 3 years ago, and I went to an all-girls school for 13 years. So I had a very different upbringing in the fact that my school pushed female leadership, women empowerment, like all day, every day. And I honestly, when I decided to go into STEM, I didn't even think about there being so few women, just because I was surrounded by so many who felt the same way and had the same aspirations as I did. It really has been quite the journey. It's still a pretty small number, I would say, in college. And I don't really know why that is. I don't know if has to do with like nature versus nurture or just society. But I think that a huge reason why women aren't as likely to be in STEM is because it is a male dominated field, and it can be intimidating. Like, I've had classes where I'm the only girl, and what I didn't know, honestly, going into it is how many opportunities it does present and how many fields you actually can go into. And yeah, it's been really amazing. I've really enjoyed it. I'm all for pushing people to go into STEM.
Yeah, I think one thing too is that, STEM, science, technology, engineering, all of that there's so many different aspects to it, and it's only the industries as a whole are only going to grow as our society becomes more technologically advanced, as things become more digital. As we work through like the pandemic that we're handling right now, like everything has switched to digital communication, digital collaboration so quickly. The infrastructure was there, but you're going to see such a big boom in that. And so there's so many different ways for you to be involved in STEM that it really is the future.
Absolutely. And sometimes it can kind of be overwhelming to try to figure out where your like niche in the STEM like world is. So, just my experience, and it might be Maddie's as well, that Northeastern kind of did a great job of that with their co-op program, just kind of letting you kind of sample along like the different parts and pieces of the industry to kind of just really figure out where you feel like you can hit your stride and get going.
Awesome. So next up is, when was a time you failed and how did you respond to it?
It's a tough one.
I know, like plenty of times.
I know, right? Like that's just it all the time. I mean,
Yeah, all the time. It's like,
it's the nature of what we do. It's the nature of being human, is that there's always going to be things that mistakes you make, things that you fail at. I think the most important part, or the most important thing to take away from that, is that no matter how many times you fall, you get back up, and you often like learn so much more from mistakes. No, definitely.
I think that's one of the most important parts to focus on when you do make a mistake, is what you're learning from that mistake and how to apply that knowledge moving forward, and just how to, add that lesson learned to your Rolodex of information so that you're just growing your knowledge in the process of making the mistake.
So next question is, what advice would you give to your younger self at the start of your career, or for you, Maddie, the beginning of your studies?
I'd say for me, it would be to take advantage of the opportunities that you had in college, like SWE. I didn't really get involved in that, but my friend did, and she was able to get a lot of opportunities from that. So just look for things that you can get involved in.
Yeah, I probably have to agree with that one.
As early as you can get involved in, SWE or other networking groups that, help enrich yourself as an engineer, or enrich yourself just specifically as a woman in engineering, is absolutely fantastic way to, gain mentors and learn from other people's experience, and really just network to grow your career and yourself along the way.
Yeah, I think the biggest advice that I feel like I kind of did, but I could have done more of, was networking, like you just said. It is so powerful. And I think that is so beyond important, especially with social media and like things like LinkedIn. You have so many resources to be a young professional in STEM right now. Just absolutely take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think it's so important too, to just have confidence in yourself and your abilities, and not necessarily having to have confidence that you know everything, but have confidence that you have the ability to learn whatever it is you need to learn, that you have a team behind you and you have the people to support you to get you to the next level, and be able to take advantage of those opportunities.
So the next question, what advice has a mentor given you that has stuck with you?
Honestly, this is pretty simple, but I obviously, STEM is a very difficult field to study. I've taken a lot of courses where I've really struggled, specifically like thermodynamics. And I had a close friend of mine once just say to me, like, because there's been times where I felt so lost, and where I have questioned, like, if I really do want to go into this field, because it is hard and you do need a lot of confidence. But I've had people say to me, just put your head down, you'll get through it. And this will literally take you like where you want to be. Like I chose this field because of the industry I wanted to eventually go into. And study hard, study smart. I think that that's also really important, because it doesn't always come easily.
I mean, I can't even count on both hands, like how many times I questioned along the way, like whether I was making the right decisions, just because you do tend to get discouraged sometimes when you have those like trip and fall moments. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I've gotten along the way is, don't sell yourself short, because, you don't really know what your true potential is until you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, because that's when you really, really start to grow and kind of experience for yourself what you're capable of.
Yeah, knowing your worth and not being afraid to negotiate for your worth made me really nervous to do my first negotiation, but it ended up well in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of you guys have such great insight into that, and I agree with everything. I mean, I think it all goes back to the confidence thing.
Awesome. So the last question is, looking forward, where do you think your career will take you?
Having a lot more gray hair than I already do.
I second that. To say like where your career can take you, because the sky's the limit, really. You know, I mean, I personally, where I am now, like I'd hope it takes me into some sort of leadership role, where I can use my skills as a project manager and team building and things like that in a broader sense.
For me, I also agree that the sky is the limit. I think eventually I would want to be a project manager or some sort of leadership role, because I do really like being a leader. I don't know, I think that's the position where you learn the most about yourself and about other people.
I think you're already well on your way, Maddie.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I'm curious to see what my next steps really will be, because, you know, I recently was put in a team leadership role, and that's been really great for me, just being able to, you know, collaborate with the team that I have and, you know, kind of help them and mentor them along the way, because they are some of the younger guys in the office. So it's nice to give them a strong female leadership to look up to. Also look outside of work, you know, kind of goes into the networking thing, and see what you can get involved in you know, other aspects of engineering that are important to you. You know, I was able to sit on the committee for the most recent adaptation of the New York City Energy Code. So that was kind of a really cool accomplishment for me, printed in the Energy Code book. So just kind of building on stuff like that and seeing what else is out there for me to, you know, kind of add to my Rolodex of experience and growing.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions. So thank you all for taking the time and sitting down with us to have this discussion.